another edition of STEM Student News. I'm Matt Enriquez.
I'm Kennedy Gill, and here's this week's top stories.
Beginning on some world news, the drug lord El Chapo has stated through his lawyer that he is willing to plead guilty if he is transferred to a different medium security prison in the U.S. The reason he is saying this is because since he was put back in the prison in Mexico, the officials there have been playing with his mental state, making him insane and depressed. Also, his wife has shown concern over the mental health of her husband.
Last Thursday in Russia, about 36 miners were killed in a coal mine due to an explosion. Rescue workers were able to save around 80 miners and worked hard to try to stop the underground fire that was still burning from the previous day. Russian representatives in charge of the mining have said this accident happened because of natural causes.
A dangerous amount of iridium-192 was stolen in the state of Querétaro, Mexico during a car theft. The government of Mexico issued a state warning because this type of radioactive material can cause a lot of health risks if handled while opened. The warning talked about not removing the item from its armor if found because there are side effects that are fatal.
Early Saturday morning, police were called by neighbors due to cries for help from the house next door. When they arrived, they were presented with one of the saddest scenes any human would ever have to look at: a family of 15 dead. The cause of these deaths were reported to be murder committed by the father of the family. During the night, he boarded up all the doors and killed the family members with knives. He then hung himself. Only one person survived.
The state of Alabama has reversed the raise in minimum wage. The state governor put in a ban on the ability for different cities in Alabama to set their minimum wage. Even though some cities rated it to $10 an hour, the federal minimum wage stays at $7.25 an hour.
Apple has announced that they are trying to create a hack-proof iPhone, but the government has other plans. The government has asked Apple to create a loophole, a backdoor. That way, if needed, they could enter an iPhone without the consent of the owner. Apple isn't interested in doing this because they believe if they do that, along with create a hack-proof phone, it'll be too many passwords for the consumer to remember, eventually affecting their decision to buy an Apple product.
Remember the story I talked about last week? The Royal Caribbean cruise that went through a severe storm through South Carolina. Well, a passenger on the ship has decided to sue the company for its negligence towards that person. He said that during the storm, he received heart injuries, and he said that the medical help was inadequate. The Royal Caribbean cruise has yet to respond.
President Barack Obama has signed a new bill making it illegal for Americans to import goods manufactured by slaves. This means any good created by slaves or under slave-like conditions will no longer be able to be sold in America. This bill will also innovate the way imported goods are inspected. BPA's first competition will take place on Friday, March 4th and Saturday, March 5th.
Students must arrive to Washington before 6:30 a.m. with lunch or money to purchase lunch when you are there.
We here at STEM Student News would like to wish everybody that is competing good luck.
Good luck, guys! This week, the STEM 8th graders participated in the dissection of fetal pigs. This was a new and exciting learning experience, but also fun at the same time.
We interviewed a few of the students after the dissection to see how they felt about it. Here are their responses.
This dissection is going pretty well, but there's some parts that are complicated.
This dissection is going pretty good. Like, so far, we're cutting deeper into the skin so we can get a better look at the organs.
I think it's going good right now.
This is the large intestine, this is the small intestine, this is the stomach, and this is part of the kidney.
That's the large intestine, and the one we just took out is the small intestine.
And this are the liver. These are the small intestine. These are the large intestine.
The hardest part of the dissection is identifying certain parts of the pig and also maybe cutting it and following along what we're supposed to cut.
Well, it wasn't that hard, but when you cut into the bone, it's like pretty hard and the skin is pretty thick too.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah, because it's kind of a memorable experience to remember.
Yeah, because I plan on being a surgeon.
Track season started this week and will continue for at least the next 2 months. Coaches are excited for the newcomers and as well as returners to come and compete in the multiple meets of the season. If you believe you can run or throw, track is for you. Remember to bring water and bring clothes that are appropriate for their weather conditions. For the 8th graders though, this is their last year competing. Make it a good season, guys and gals.
In previous years, billionaire Warren Buffett has offered $1 billion to the winner of the March Madness bracket. But this year, Mr. Buffett's offer has become a little more generous. Whoever wins this year's March Madness bracket will be receiving $1 billion per year for the rest of their life. The chance of picking a perfect bracket is slim to none, with the ratio of one person to every 4.3 billion people actually winning. With numbers like this, it's not hard to believe no one has done it yet. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of STEM Student News. I'm Kennedy Gills.
I'm Enriquez.
Thanks for watching.